How's it going, everybody? Too Spooky here. So, Mortal Kombat 11 came out recently, and it's pretty frickin' awesome, aside from that god-awful AI in the Towers of Time. But I digress. The other thing somewhat lacking in the new game is a character I feel most of us were hoping for, and also the subject of our video today. So with that, we're going to be counting down 25 facts about Rain. This video was suggested by these lovely people right here. Like I've said before, we're going to be covering the remaining palette swap ninja characters before we move on to the others, which meant it was only a matter of time before we got to Rain himself. So thank you all so much for that suggestion, and this one is going out to all of you. Just a forewarning that my pronunciation isn't always the best, so I may butcher a few names as we progress. Without any more delay, let's jump right into it. Number 1. Rain was created as a joke in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. If you've watched some of my past Mortal Kombat videos, you'll know that secrets and jokes like this one were a common occurrence within the first few games. Basically, in the game's Attract mode, there was one quick preview of a purple palette swap ninja named Rain fighting against Shao Kahn, which was placed within the Attract mode courtesy of Ed Boon himself. Once fans noticed this mysterious character within the Attract mode, they assumed that he must be some sort of secret character that they could find within the game. So I can only imagine the countless amount of people who struggled aimlessly to try and find him, but to no avail. Which is because he was never actually playable or a secret battle within the game. There was even a combat code, which was 713313, that said, Rain can be found within the graveyard, further pranking people into trying harder to find out what they needed to do to fight or unlock him. That being said though, even though he was introduced as just a joke to prank people, he was originally supposed to be a playable character within Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, but due to time constraints, they weren't actually able to put him within the game before release. Rain would then become a playable character within the console versions of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy, marking his debut as a playable character. Number 2. When it comes to the conception of Rain as a character, Ed Boon stated that the initial idea came from him thinking of what colors they hadn't used for palette swap ninjas yet. When he eventually decided on purple, he thought it would be funny to base the character off of a Prince song, considering Ed was a big fan of Prince as it was, that song being Purple Rain, and therefore named him Rain for that reason. Rain would also be revealed as an actual prince within the Mortal Kombat lore later on down the line to further fit with this inspiration.
Number 3.
When it came to Rain's appearance in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, he wasn't originally supposed to be in that game at all, mainly due to the fact he made it into the console versions of Ultimate MK3 and the developers wanted to add a different palette swap ninja instead. The character in question was supposed to be Tremor. However, for whatever reason, they ended up pulling Tremor out and putting Rain in the game instead. Because this swap happened somewhat last minute, the bio they originally had for Tremor was instead given to Rain, even though it was retconned in later releases of the game because it's not accurate to Rain's character at all. The false Tremor bio stated this: Rain is an assassin working freelance. He was once a member of the Lin Kuei along with Sub-Zero, but left the clan under mysterious circumstances. Years later, Rain is found working for Shao Kahn as an assassin in the Outworld. Born a human, he finds himself questioning his loyalty towards Shao Kahn after watching the invasion of Earth. Number 4. Rain would also appear in Mortal Kombat Advance, which was basically Ultimate MK3 for the Game Boy Advance. On a normal occasion, this wouldn't really be worth talking about, but this game actually marked the first time Rain was given his own unique fatality, which also carried over to Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Additionally, in that game, Rain's friendship involves him flying away on an umbrella like Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Number 5. Rain wouldn't appear in any of the Mortal Kombat games again until Mortal Kombat Armageddon, although he did make a small cameo in Deception as an NPC. Something interesting to note about this would be that within Conquest mode of Deception, Shujinko gives Rain a ceremonial dagger, and in Rain's design for Armageddon, he appears to keep this very dagger on his waist, even though he was supposed to give it to Shao Kahn. During the events of Armageddon, Rain would end up being killed by Ermac during the battle. Number 6. As far as Rain's storyline goes for the original timeline, Rain was a prince of Edenia, or rather his father was Argus. And Argus was a god, whom was also the divine protector of Edenia, and therefore additionally considered royalty. Argus was married to Delia. However, at some point, the absolute dog decided to sleep around a little bit, and ended up getting another woman pregnant, who gave birth to Rain. Because Argus was so ashamed of himself for committing infidelity, he banished Rain from his family when he was only a baby, putting him under the care of an unnamed but very important general within the Edenian armies. Because Rain was born a god and a regular Edenian, this makes him a demigod, giving him the power to manipulate weather. At some point after Shao Kahn conquered Edenia, Rain would be smuggled out of Edenia, where his whereabouts would be unknown to us thereafter. However, fast forward thousands of years later, Rain would actually side with Shao Kahn and help him attempt to conquer Earthrealm. During this time, Kitana would eventually confront Rain and reveal the truth to him. That truth being that Shao Kahn killed his adoptive father with his own hands. This reveal led Rain to switch sides and fight against Shao Kahn with the Earthrealm warriors, even going as far to attempt to kill Shao Kahn by himself. However, it's unknown if Rain ever actually got to fight Shao Kahn or if Shao Kahn got KO'd by someone else. All that we do know is that after Shao Kahn's defeat, Rain would go off on a quest in a distant land, and we would not hear from him again until the events of Armageddon. Apparently, sometime before Armageddon's events actually take place, Quan Chi was the one who informed Rain of his true heritage. And the best part is Quan Chi was actually telling the truth for once, which is super out of character for him if you know what I'm talking about. After learning about his father, Rain would officially start referring to himself as a prince, and wanted to get Blaze's power so he could officially rule the realms, as he believed it was his birthright to do so. Although, like we said before, he did not succeed, because he died. Number 7. Another thing to note about Rain's heritage would be that Argus also has 2 other children, those children being Dagon and Taven, whom were also the central figures of Armageddon's story. This therefore makes Rain their half-brother, which is something that has not changed for the new timeline. However, Dagon and Taven have not made an official appearance within the new timeline other than through dialogue, endings, and via the comics. During the events of Armageddon, Rain also wanted to kill both of them, because he wanted to be the sole claim to his future as a ruler, along with the fact that he detested them for being the children that his father cared about, rather than him. His feelings toward them have not been revealed within the new timeline. Number 8. When the timeline was eventually rebooted in 2011 with the release of Mortal Kombat 9, Rain wouldn't be included within the initial roster like most fans thought he would, but he would end up being one of the 4 DLC characters released after the fact. Number 9. When it comes to Rain's storyline within the new timeline, it begins rather similar to the old one. The similarities include the fact that Rain's heritage remains the same, including his adoptive father being an important general. This time around, Rain was smuggled out of Edenia during Shao Kahn's conquest rather than after the fact, and his adoptive father was still killed by Shao Kahn. Rain would then be raised and trained by the Edenian resistance. He became an excellent fighter, but his arrogance prevented him from ever having his own command within the resistance. So after years upon years of being denied his leadership, he eventually betrayed the resistance and went to serve Shao Kahn, as Shao Kahn promised Rain command over his own army for his service. Rain would then loyally serve within Shao Kahn's court for over 10,000 years, although he had to hide his face behind a mask, as any Edenian who recognized him would instantly know that he was a traitor. Number 10. When Mortal Kombat X was released in 2014, although Rain was not actually a playable character within the game, nor was he even available as DLC, Rain appeared within the story as an NPC, so he essentially got shafted. That being said, Rain was initially planned to be in the final roster, but he was cut for whatever reason. Rain can also be seen in the background of the pit stage fighting Blaze, so it looks like he's trying to gain ultimate power even within the new timeline. Number 11. In terms of what Rain did within the Mortal Kombat X storyline, it begins within the comics, where Rain assisted Mileena and Reiko against Kotal Khan. Rain's job was to assist Goro by using his weather abilities to block out the sun, as the Aztec race gained significant power under direct sunlight. However, because Kotal Khan had been using blood magic, he was able to summon a powerful beam of sunlight through the clouds which burned Rain to a crisp. Toasty! Rain survived the burns and was saved by the Red Dragon, and then Mileena treated him back to health. His burns must have healed completely, as once Rain appeared in the story mode of Mortal Kombat X, his skin looked completely normal. During the story mode, Rain was assisting Mileena once again, and pressuring her to use Shinnok's amulet against Kotal Kahn, knowing it would slowly take Mileena's life with each use. He would then assist Mileena in facing Kotal Kahn and his forces, but ultimately they were defeated. Through this sequence of events, we also learned that Rain is already aware of his true heritage as Argus's son. However, we never found out how he acquired that information. Later on against D'Vorah and Cassie Cage, D'Vorah stated that Rain wanted to take Outworld's throne for himself, which Rain admitted was the truth. So he was essentially just playing politics the entire time and siding with Mileena and trying to get her to end up killing herself with Shinnok's amulet. Rain would then be defeated and he would not appear for the rest of the game. However, one thing we do know is that he was not killed, and therefore is alive during the events of Mortal Kombat 11, even if he doesn't take part in those events. Number 12! In the short-lived animated cartoon, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, Rain is a key figure in episode 4, and an interesting thing to note would be that this version of Rain was apparently engaged to Kitana in the past, and this information makes Liu Kang pretty jealous. Rain also doesn't wear a mask for the entire episode, which is a first for him during any of his appearances. Number 13. Rain also appeared in Mortal Kombat Conquest, where he fights Kung Lao, and almost frickin' kills the guy. The relationship between Kitana and Rain was also hinted at within that episode, however this relationship was never present in any of the games. Number 14. Rain made a short appearance in the second Mortal Kombat film, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, in which he was killed by Shao Kahn quite early in the film for not killing Stryker and Cabal, and also for not forcing them to beg for their lives. Shao Kahn then knocked Rain into a pit of fire with his hammer, subsequently killing him before he got to do literally anything within the movie.
Have time.
You suck.
Number 15. Rain's ending in both Armageddon and Mortal Kombat 11 are somewhat similar, in the fact that Rain gains a godlike power, and uses it to rule with an iron fist. In Armageddon, he gains Blaze's power and uses it to enslave Edenia, while in Mortal Kombat 11 he uses his newfound power to enslave all of the realms, starting with Earthrealm. Number 16. When Rain was first shown in the Attract mode for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, his color scheme was of course purple, but it was a lot more faded to the point where it was almost burgundy, or closer to a deep red. However, in console ports of the game, along with in Trilogy, his purple color scheme was a lot brighter, and a lot more purple for that matter.
Number 17.
In Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy, every ninja has a roundhouse kick. However, Rain's roundhouse kick would knock his opponent off the side of the screen, where they would then return from the other side behind him. Rain's roundhouse kick may have had this additional ability, but it also does 1/3 the damage of a normal roundhouse kick from any other character. Number 18. As far as Rain's weather-related abilities go, he's limited to only abilities that involve water and lightning. However, he's proven that he's an expert when it comes to using these abilities, such as being able to transform his body into water to teleport, strike people with lightning at any distance, trap people in water prisons, and even create blades out of pressurized water. Additionally, he's mysteriously found a way to magically strengthen his legs, which is how he's able to kick people so hard that they actually appear behind him. Somehow. Number 19. When Rain was being programmed into the Attract mode for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, because an existing font for his name didn't exist within the code, Ed Boon had to create a new font to add his name into the game, which is why Rain's name is the only name in the game that isn't in italics. Number 20. From Mortal Kombat Trilogy to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Rain was one of only 5 characters to have also been absent that entire time, the others being Stryker, Shiva, Kintaro, and Motaro. Number 21. In Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Rain's fighting style was originally supposed to be karate, but it was later changed to Z-Ron Men for unknown reasons. Number 22. For some reason, in different versions of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Rain's stationary pose is different. In the Nintendo 64 version, his pose is the same as Reptile's, while in the other ports of the game, he has the same stance as the other ninjas. Rain also shared Reptile's pose in the console ports of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 that he's playable in. Number 23. John Podlasek, whom was one of the producers for Mortal Kombat Deception and Armageddon, revealed that his favorite character was Rain during a Reddit Ask Me Anything. His reason for this was because he got to do Rain's grunts, hits, and yells in Armageddon. Number 24! Back in the year 2000, Threshold Entertainment began a live-action series which was featured on MortalKombat.com called Federation of Martial Arts. The various battles and storylines were meant to expand the universe of the movies, while also playing out on the site as an interactive stock exchange. These battles consisted of many different characters, however, one of the most prominent characters featured was Rain, whom fought characters like Sonya, Quan Chi, and even Jax. In all honesty though, I think this opening clip of Jax vs. Rain is just foreshadowing how all of us Rain fans are feeling about Rain within the newest games.
Where's Rain, huh? Where's Rain at? Let's go, Rain! Where you at, baby? Where's the other people, huh? Where the hell is Rain?
Now the moment that you've all been waiting for, number 25. At this point, it should be known to the majority of you that Rain isn't a playable character in Mortal Kombat 11, to many fans' dismay. However, Rain does make a small cameo appearance within the game. Technically 2 of them, in fact. All of these cameos take place within the crypt. And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh Rain is the character you control within the crypt, right? I mean, he does look like him, and he's even got that purple gold color scheme. How did I not notice this before? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but that character unfortunately is not Rain. Ed Boon confirmed that this character wasn't Rain on Twitter before the game was even released. The actual cameo of Rain within the crypt comes from when you look across the pit, as you can see what appears to be Rain fighting Blaze in the background. This same matchup also occurred within Mortal Kombat X, so it only makes sense that that character is still Rain. However, since it's a bit hard to tell for sure since it's so far away, it's also possible that that isn't Rain. So if the crypt guy isn't Rain, and we really can't tell for sure if Rain is back there fighting Blaze, although he probably is, what is the actual definitive cameo for Rain within the crypt? Well, if you've advanced far enough within the crypt, you will eventually encounter Ermac falling from the pit and getting skewered by one of the spikes at the bottom. Within this same area, it's possible to randomly encounter a second person falling onto one of these spikes from above. That character who fell being a purple palette swap ninja, which as we know, has to be Rain. So by the looks of it, us fans of Rain have been cucked yet again, as he's either fighting Blaze in the background yet again, or he's getting f***ing killed as an Easter egg. And it also looks like DLC featuring Rain isn't going to happen this time around based on the current leaks, so maybe he'll finally get the love that he deserves when MK12 finally comes around, whenever that may be. But there you have it everybody, 25 facts about Rain. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and hopefully you learned something new. If you did, well make sure to roundhouse kick that like button. While you're at it, be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss the next Mortal Kombat video. And also be sure to comment which character you would like to learn about next. Follow me on Twitter at 2SpookyTube to keep up with the channel. Follow me on Twitch at 2Spookster to hang out with me during some of those Mortal Kombat 11 streams. And be sure to cop some of the new merch we've got available so you can stay spooky at all times. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon with a new video.